need to be able to debunk some of these myths. Like you said, instead of you listening to some of this craziness that people talk about, you rather read different things and get your own opinion from those things like that. And I think that's huge for whether it's for romantic relationships, friendships, or whatever. You want to try to expand yourself so that you have something wonderful to offer and that you don't have that skewed mindset that can sometimes exclude certain people from your life that should be there, for whether it's for longevity or just for a season of time. It's great for them to impart certain things in your life, but you won't get that if you keep certain mindsets and things like that in your mind. Now, you mentioned something about the dating scene. What would you describe our dating scene like today?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some things. They say pee is in it, and they said that they got pee in it, trash, a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there's some good and some bad. But there's so much stuff that's out there. There's so many people who are, on social media, sharing their ideas and stuff. And some people are getting like really big followings, and it's really changing the mindset of a lot of people. And it's making things a little more difficult.
Okay.
Because influence, so many things have so much influence on our culture.
It does.
And when something gets on a bigger platform, there's more influence, and then people are like, I don't know how I feel about this, but this seems to be what everybody is talking about. Maybe this is true. And then, people's mindsets start to change. And then it just be hard out there. It's crazy.
It is a very interesting concept. When I think about dating in the 80s or dating in the 90s and then compare that to the 2000s and now in 2020, it has been like a trend of changes, if you will. I think, personally thinking and expressing, I believe that the pandemic has changed that to some degree. That I mentioned to a person that some people that I know share that they didn't realize how important certain relationships and things were until we experienced the pandemic. And they were just like, wow, I didn't realize how much I missed being around this particular person or miss this particular group. And so it sort of made them more open to the concept of maybe dating more or getting involved in meaningful relationships and not just random interactions, because they're just like, at the end of the day, when everything shut down, you realize who you really wanted to be in your core,
Yeah.
So, but yes, it is hard in these streets. I'm right there with you, like, this is very interesting. One of the interviews that I did with the single guy, Justin, he talked about the different avenues now that we have for dating. You no longer have just like the face-to-face. Now you have internet dating, the cafes, the online versions and all that. Do you feel the many variants that we have now has made it more difficult, or has it made it more available for people?
I will say both. Like there are a lot of avenues, but every avenue is not good. Some of them I do not mess with.
Yes.
So every time I think of Tinder, I'm like, nah.
Yes.
Some of the things it makes it more easier, but also harder to weed out what's real and what's not. And then, yeah, so I feel as though you meet more people.
You do.
But I think it's time consuming.
It can be.
Yeah, it can, yeah, that's what I meant. It can be time consuming because you can meet more people, but if it's not what it's supposed to be, or it's not what their profile is and whatnot. And then there's social medias, and there's like direct message, DMs and all that stuff, and Facebook Messenger.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes. With that, I spoke with the guy, and he talked to me about the concept of being catfish. And that's something I don't think that we would have worried about that in the 90s or something like that, being catfish. You'd be like, what?
Not a problem.
But he talked about an experience, and I think that was in a part that I didn't exclude in one of the videos, but he talked about getting to know a person and what they posted and appeared to be was one thing, but then once they met, it was something totally different. And so he was sharing that how he missed the face-to-face interaction,
Right.
because that really narrowed down so many people probability of being catfish. Yeah, I
Right.
mean, we know it's huge. They got a whole show about it. A whole show about it.
Yes.
So you know it's happening all over the world. Um,
Right.
what are some things
Oh, I
that
was going to say one more thing,
oh
but
yes,
that's what I meant about time consuming,
yes.
because even though you can meet many people,
Mhm,
if what they're putting out there is not what it really is,
mhm.
and it takes you a while to figure out, oh, all of that was a smoke screen,
Yes.
this was false, this was all a lie, all of
Mhm.
this, that's time wasted. So
Yes.
you're meeting more people, but you're also somewhat wasting time during that process as well, as you're trying to figure out, in and out and figure out what's going on.
That's true. That's true because you have to almost become a private investigator.
You
Like,
do?
let me compare these social media accounts to make sure they're all the same, and then let me compare X, Y, and Z. So I can see how it can be hard for both men and women in the
Hmm.
dating arena that we have now, trying to make sure that what they're investing in isn't like a smoke screen, as you said. It's nothing like smoke and mirrors. You believe this is what you get, and this is what you got, and now you just like,
Right.
what I'm gonna do with all this. Um, so I think that that's make it really hard in the dating arena in our time, and that really has affected many people from moving forward in relationships, or even people staying in relationships that they know they probably shouldn't be in, but they're like, I know little Johnny, so I'm gonna stay with Johnny because they don't need for me to get out there, and then what am I gonna have? What am I gonna get?
Hmm.
And that's disheartening because you should be
It
with
is.
someone that makes you want to be happy to come and see him and be home and not just be like, Lord, I'm going home to Johnny. Well, okay. And just go on from there. So